Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala are the closest thing we have in this generation to Kaka. The reason why I think players like Martin Odegaard and Bruno Fernandes get unnecessary criticism in my opinion is more down to the style of play they are rather than their actual ability. Both are more traditional playmakers like an Ozil or a Riquelme, players who want the ball to feet, and are much better as the creator finding the through ball to then allow quicker attackers to take advantage of the space, rather than taking advantage of that space themselves because they don't have that natural acceleration, athleticism or freakish ball control and dribbling ability. However, in the age of De Zerbi and Pep, where the aggressive press from the opposition often leaves midfielders man to man with an opposition presser, with space then in behind to exploit, if you have a genuine world-class ball carrier like a Musiala or a Wirtz, who can drop deep during the build-up phase and play you out of trouble via a series of short passes, or even just by doing it all themselves with a dribble, if you have this type of player performing to that level in the biggest games, I think you have arguably one of the most tactically valuable players of this whole generation. And if I had to define it as a specific term, I'd probably call it a roaming playmaker, what I envisage Kaka would have played in his prime if he was in today's tactical era. But before I get further into the analysis, if you do want to pick up a retro Kaka Milan jersey, you can go over to Jersey FIFA. They have a whole collection, not just Manchester United or AC Milan going back to the early 90s, but also a range of different clubs and international sides as well. If you use coupon code Atlantis, you'll also get a discount, and I'll leave a link in my Instagram bio, which will be linked in the description. So before De Zerbi, the Guardiola Cruyffian school of thought was dominant, certainly in Europe, and the basic idea was that the opposition are going to press you high up the pitch, looking to stop us as the possession side playing out from the back. But we are going to be so good under pressure that not only can we play out of the press using our positional play, but also using a more methodical possession approach, which over the course of the whole game will grind the opposition down, and slowly but surely you can then start to exploit the gaps in the opposition system, as they inevitably fatigue both physically and mentally just from us dominating the ball. However, Roberto De Zerbi's tactical renaissance takes it a step further. So now rather than just looking to play through a press, we are now also looking to play directly through the centre. And this is because with the De Zerbi inspired possession setup, you're able to bait the opposition's press and then use a series of quick, well coordinated third man passes in order to open up passing lanes to then exploit the space in behind the aggressive pressing midfield. Just think about it, if the opposition midfield line pushes higher up the pitch, looking to squeeze you in your defensive third, essentially condensing the space between their midfield and frontline presses, there's just going to be more space in behind their midfield between their defensive and midfield lines. Now the obvious problem is, how do you take advantage of that space? Now the manager and head coach plays a huge part of this. This is where the TalkSport crowd who just look at a manager's Wikipedia and say, well, he's won this in so many years so he's better than him, doesn't really work. You have to understand the tactical side of the game, and when watching a well-trained side it becomes pretty clear what they're actually trying to do, and whether that strategy is effective against the defensive system that they are facing. When you watch De Zerbi's Brighton side, you can already see the narrow shape, the third man passes already lined up, but most importantly you can see the clear intention of playing through the middle. Now even with a midfield of say Kobbie Mainoo and Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes ahead, whilst all three are more than capable of progressing the ball in a De Zerbi-esque fashion via a series of quick short passes through the centre, none of those three have what you would call the X factor in terms of that sheer natural ball carrying ability that we see with Musiala or Wirtz. It's what Pep saw in Matheus Nunes, that natural athleticism to be able to turn out of pressure and absolutely take over the space in front of them, launching the attack forward like a pack of dogs, which even against the best and most organised aggressive man-to-man presses is going to happen at least 2 or 3 times in a game. And at the top level in the Champions League, Euros, World Cup, that is what the difference can be. And so rather than a Martin Odegaard or a Bruno Fernandes who proved their value in the final third, the next generation of playmakers, or what I call roaming playmakers due to their positional freedom, these players will prove their worth throughout the pitch, but specifically in the middle third, specialising in baiting and then beating the opposition's press, as well as being perfect for counter-pressing situations when your side wins the ball high up the pitch, where these players can then look to receive the ball and attack the space directly. Musiala and Wirtz are the standout too, but both will be expensive and chased by the likes of Real, City, Bayern Munich and pretty much every top club. Desiree Doué at Rennes is a young 18-year-old who already in just under 500 minutes that he's played in Ligue 1 this season is already showing some insane potential, with his dribbling and creative ability evident either by watching him or just by glancing at his FB ref report. But he'll also be expensive, maybe not as expensive as Musiala or Wirtz, and he's more one for the next 3 to 5 years rather than say the next 1 to 3. And so as a manager, you may have to create this type of player, carefully creating the right system and role, alongside the right attacking patterns of play to fully unlock the potential of the roaming playmaker. If you do want me to go into more detail in another video, then let me know in the comments section below.